we see 3 items. One is just a system file, leave it alone, don't mess with it because it's all set up to run with this. This is a .exe. Okay, what do you think the .exe is going to be used to do? Update our var sheet. So whatever our vars were before, okay, this will update it. All right, so let me show you how you would use it. Just click on it, and guess what we have here? Voila, a form. All right, so now where was all my stuff? My stuff was where? It was in my notes, right? That's my idea. The production name, right? Whatever it is, Control C. Let me just go here, and that's going to be production name, okay? Boom. And you can, again, put them in whatever order you want. You can rearrange the order, okay? Destination URL goes here, okay? What else? Mouse.jpg is the image file name. So I'm just going to call it mouse.jpg. Okay, keywords. And again, you can use whatever forms you want. You know, you can set up your own runs to do whatever you want. There's no reason you have to stick with our standards here. Okay, this is just all cut and dried stuff. And city states. Okay. Now, make sure it's all filled out. And I'll make a couple of points real fast. You're probably already thinking, what if you hit an enter at the bottom? And the answer is no problem at all, whether you hit the enter or not. Some people would say, what if there happens to be like a hole in the data? That's not a problem either, unless it is at the first line. You have to have something come first. This is not going to work, it'll break. But as long as there's data coming first, then this thing will clean up any of those missing fields. So if somebody pasted in a big list from somewhere and they happen to have some holes in the data, that'll be okay. This will update properly. What's the next thing? What if you had some spaces? What if you had some stray spaces like this, and then you had some stray spaces like that? All right, and again, let's assume not at the beginning because I haven't tested that yet. But you know, I could actually have a bunch of stray spaces. Okay, it's not going to matter either. This form will clean it up. All right, since I filled in all the fields, I can, you know, hit submit. Let me close this thing anyway, but let me submit. Okay, and it says the CSV file has been successfully updated with the data provided in this form. Okay, let me keep the form to the side in case I want to come back to it. Let's go back here. Input. This is the one it updated, the one right here in this folder, right? Let's see it. Okay, it is saying Acme window washing. It is saying the destination URL. It is saying the geo targets. It is saying the keywords in all 3 places the way I mapped it on the form. Okay, and it's got my mouse.jpg. I can see it here. And I think that's it, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Was there one more thing or not? Whatever the case. It updated whatever was truly in there. Keyword, city, states, destination, image file, production name. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's it. And see what it did with the keywords? Like I said, it fixed it all. Where do we have like stray spaces and stuff? Right in the second one, right? Window washer. That's this one. If I double click, it's gone. No stray spaces, not at the beginning or the end. And all the holes were cleaned up every time. So this, you can even be a little sloppy on this and not screw it up. The only thing we'll probably have trouble with would be hidden characters. We always say if you're copying keywords, paste them in a notepad first, then copy from notepad to paste in here. That way you clean, you know, oddball formatting stuff, table structures and things like that that may show up invisible anywhere. Even in here you would do that just to make sure you don't get stray weird characters and so forth. Okay, so it did all my work for me. And you'd think, whoops, I'm going the long way around. All right, it did all my work for me. Notice I did not actually have to open this thing, right? What did I do? I opened this. I filled out the forms, I hit submit, and that's it. This was updated. I only showed you it was updated by opening it and showing you. It deleted whatever was there before, no matter how long and how full it was, and put in all the right new information for me. What's the one thing that stops me from being able to use it now? And it's in my input folder. That means I could take a copy of it and I could come out here to my working platform where everything should go and paste to overwrite the last one, the old one that I don't want right now, because I probably already saved it to some file for some run, a copy of it somewhere, under clients or something like that, or under projects, something else. But I'm going to copy it because I want it to be updated. Now, you might think, can I run it? Well, we already know that we have to go into the profiles and create a new project name probably, right? So if I want to upload that thing up, I need to give it something for a project name, and so I might just say like Oregon Windows, okay? And whatever I put up here, I need to make sure to have it down here. Boom, right? And then that's good, and I can just double check that this didn't update, and it didn't. It's all good. It's ready for me, okay, with everything I wanted. And I could do a proper file count and all that. I can still test. I can still take this off and just produce some pages, make sure they work. But what's the one thing we're missing still before we can do it? We're missing something. Remember? If I look at this and I go to the menu, ow, it's the wrong menu. Got to hit the menu generator. And you guys know about that, right? Menu generator. And we say var2, number of results 10, submit. And there it is, right? But I want to show you something else. So hopefully it didn't save. Okay, I want to show you something else. Yeah, that's still the old menu because I did not save the changes. Now I want to show you something else. Guess what else we have? And I just sort of stuck it in here because I had to move things around to make all this happen. Copy. Guess what this does? Input, paste. Okay, this is a menu generator. And guess what it's going to do? It's going to run the menu generator from the outside. So let's just take a look at what we have here. We're still inside the input even before we pasted, right? So actually I'm working on this one right now. And yes, it has the old menu. Watch this. What do you think are the variables in the menu generator VBS? Edit. Let me show you. There are 3, just like you would imagine. They happen to be right here. The path variable, which equals whatever's in the double quotes. Don't screw with the double quotes. Don't leave any spaces inside of here. Don't have any spaces here or anything like that. Okay? Before and after. Don't mess these up. Don't move these either. Don't get rid of spaces that clearly should be there. All right? But what? This is the path where I want to change my file. Now, it's not even the input one that I'm using. It's the one right here in the V5 Geo. Just keep in mind, that's what it's saying right now. Go to the V5 Geo and update that one. If I want to update my local one right here, I can change this, of course, to be the right path. Input, all in caps, since that's how it is. How many desired results do I want? 10. Now, here's what looks a little different. What is the related column? Well, it's actually counting. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so number 7 in this case happens to be var2. It's the way this project is arranged. Okay? So it's saying, do the work on this file for 10 results using column 7 as the source file, which happens to be var2. Okay? That's what it says. Can you make copies of this thing and have them do different things? Yeah. Can you have them go to different files in different places? Yeah. Can you have them do different destination results, like for custom runs you do where you need a different number? Yes. Can you even have it do something other than var2? Yeah. You just change the information inside here, and you can make as many copies to edit as you want. You can make these names anything you want. They don't have to be particular. Okay? But if I run this, on this, let's see what it does. Here's our new var2 is just those. It's at least 10, we know that. It ends on 11 because there's a var2 taking up number 1. Then come 10 keywords, okay? So it is enough for our purposes. It's enough for 10, okay? And this is old, so this is clearly something else that was stress tested a lot harder. Look at that. Heck, man, that's over 1,000 keywords this was tested on coming right off of that form, right? So let's see when we click it what it does. Boom. Watch this. It's done. It just did it. All I had to do was click it. That's it. I never had to open this. See that? All right. How many of you guys are getting an idea of how much easier this is going to be to run now? If you can run this form and fill in all the fields, anything you don't fill in, it'll just create blanks in here wherever something should be filled in. So if I just did one city, like city, states, and destination link image, it'll fill them in. But if I do not do anything for production name, it'll just leave that blank. And the column will look blank so you know that it needs to have something in it, right? There won't be anything there from the last run. It will delete the old stuff. It just didn't have anything new to put in. It'll put in whatever you put here, okay? And for those of you who want to do like multiple images and stuff, yeah, you can do multiple images to cycle through. You can do multiple destination links to cycle through. You can create new forms for different things. YouTube file, YouTube videos, and they can put in a list of embed codes for the YouTube videos. If that's what you're having on your HTML page, you have some place on here where a YouTube video would fit, and it's got a var number. So that on here, there's a var for the YouTube videos, and they're going to get filled in by that form if that's how you set it up. Yeah, you can do whatever you want, right? Just like always. Now, what's the extra stuff that I want to point out? Because this is neat. Let me go into the backup. Now that you understand that much. So what was it? It was auto upload the related files was update number 1. Creating a form is update number 2. And I've just showed you the menu generator, so you could call that update number 3. There's one more, but let me finish off the point with the update generator. If I go into my backup, I did one more thing I thought was interesting so that you guys can see how this thing works. Okay, and let me just do it with 2 pieces right now. Copy. Bring them out. Put them in this new input I just made. Paste. And I want to point out what they do. Okay, sleep, you guys should know that already, for running multiple batch files. Now that comes from where? Where do we have the sleep.exe? You guys got it. It came with your download and everything else. But what is that? If you go to the resources page right here, MOWG resources page, and you scroll down, you'll see it. Sleep tool for batch files. Very powerful, free resource. Download it here, and the instructions are here. You already have it if you've downloaded our stuff. It's there, and the instructions are right here. And it's just a file you can read. It's a Word doc, okay? So I can open it, whatever. I can read it, save it, whatever you want to do. And the information is there, and it explains how the thing works, and it's awesome. It allows you to run multiple files at once with these, and you may not even need it anymore now that it's so easy to create copies of our index pages for different stack counter coding, copies of our var sheet for different var stacks, that you may not even need it anymore. And the only purpose is when you run multiple batch files at once, if they're trying to access the same vars file, then they can only each take a turn. So you have to get your next batch files for your next runs to wait a while to sleep for a number of seconds before it can start. And the next one needs to sleep a little longer. They each need to wait for the previous profile to finish up. Okay? That's advanced stuff. You'll need to learn it now anyway, unless you already know it. But what did I do with this automove.bat? I want to make a point about this. Edit. Here's what it's doing. 3 lines for me, just for simple show. First line is it's going to copy the vars with geo.csv, which is right there, and paste it to this true path, right, which happens to be 1 level up right here in the V5 geo folder. Remember how I copied this so I could paste it here? You don't have to. This particular thing will do it for you. It's the first thing it'll do. It'll put it there. Then it's going to run the menu generator.vbs. Okay, it's going to run it. And that's going to operate on the file you said. Watch this. I don't need it to operate on my input. I need it to operate on the output, the one I just moved, the one in here in the working area. So it's going to go there to find it and do this job. Okay? So that's what's going to happen next. So that's what this did second. So first it moved it to where we're going to use it. Then it's going to run this, which is going to act on that thing. Where is that again? I mean, don't let this stuff confuse you. It's not hard. It's right here. Right there. Right? This is that. Okay? And that's going to run that, like I said, but we don't need it to run on the input. Oh, I didn't save that, did I? File save. Okay. And then, oh, no, I do need that. Sorry. It has to go here to run that thing. This is inside here. That's true. So that does have to be there. Okay. And then what's it going to do? I've got a batch file command to immediately start. And what's it going to run? V5 Geo Profiles Test Site GEO.pfl. That is V5 Geo Profiles Test Site-GEO, right? So it's going to run it. Notice how much of this is happening automatically now. I mean, if you haven't caught on, this is crazy. Here's the point. I started here. I filled out my files. I hit submit. I closed it. Then I just hit this now. That's all I have to do. It will copy this, put it up in here. Then it will run this to edit that one. And then it will run the whole project out. And the only thing I got to make sure it was doing was using the right profile or project name at the end of the project that I wanted. So I have to get that done first. I got to make sure to give it the right project folder name, right? And remember what else it's doing. It is going to upload my mouse.jpg and any redirect.jpg or HTML. It's gonna upload all this stuff actually. It's just going to upload all of it and overwrite whatever was there. And anything that was not there, it just adds it in. Adds in the mouse.jpg. It adds in the redirect.html. And so are we going to do this right now? Yeah, we're going to do it right now. And then I'll tell you the last thing that makes this whole thing amazingly cool, because if you haven't caught on, you're going to love it. Let me go to MOWG-samples.com and go to my related V5 files. I had something called Bear. That's the name it used to be, and that's just part of when I was testing to make sure it went up, right? Now I said mouse. So let me just show you and make sure it's not there. M-O-U-S-E. And it's broken. It just does the 404 redirect to the main page of MOWG Crew, which is just how I have it set on that tester domain. We have a video about that too if you don't know about that. You know, because some people say, what if I have broken pages? Is there anything I can do to make them more useful? The answer is yes. When you go to the training files and scroll down here, we have a video for 404 error redirection. How to redirect broken pages to any web page. Okay, you can watch that and that'll explain it to you so you don't have to lose that traffic for any pages that were broken. If people are coming, you capture them anyway. Okay, big deal. Now, having said all that, this thing is not uploaded yet. If I had a redirect file in here, and I don't, but if I did, it'll get uploaded too, because the whole thing will upload and overwrite. Now again, just to go through it, empty, close. Here's a whole run now. Tell me if you don't find this actually easy. Here's where I just manually got the information I wanted. So I'm just going to do it really fast now. Think about it. Here's what you or a client can do. This is the final piece that's going to make this even more interesting. You'll see in a minute. Input. What do I want? I just want this stuff, right? Let me just start grabbing it all. Production name goes wherever I, put it in the order. And again, you can put this in any order you want to keep your stuff in order. That way I could go top down through this list if I wanted to. It's a piece of cake. Now what? Mouse.jpg, right? I want to make sure my pages use the image, the banner. I need keywords, and I'm just taking all my stuff from wherever I had it, right? Control C. And keywords went at the top. And then finally city states, right? Submit. It's up. Now, to finish the run complete with everything, I just did this, and now I walk away. It's all done. It is doing the whole run for me, and it is uploading the whole thing for me, complete with the related files. In this case, bear.jpg is going to be the new file that gets uploaded because it's the only new file I added to the related V5 files folder. And it is literally doing itself completely without me. Okay? That was how little work I had to do anymore. Matter of fact, I never had to open the CSV file. That's how far along it has come now. That's crazy. This is the beginning of where the form submits start to get really, really automated. And here's the first part of it. Okay? My part is this input right here, right? And I might make a copy of this, and you'll see what I'm going to do in a minute. I'm just going to make a copy. rename, and I might call it something like client input. Who knows what I want to call it? I could call it details. I could call it MOWG form. You could call it some other name for yourself if you're doing runs for other people, because you're going to see where this is going in a minute. What do you need to send to a client? Just this with a little notepad with some instructions on it, right? What's the instructions going to say? It's going to say click this customerinput.exe. Fill these in. Warning, do not have a straight line at the top. So whatever you put here, do not have a straight line at the top. That's the only warning. It's the only one. You can say please fill in all the fields. Okay? Right? All fields are required. So then the guy just figures out what he needs and he goes and gets it and he comes back and pastes it in. Again, you can come out with different forms for different purposes. You can have your silver level, gold level, platinum level versions of the forms that where they do more of the work for you or you do more of the work for them. Or even if you're selling big runs, you can tell them to do the work themselves to get you the information you need. When guys are dropping a lot of money on you, they are constantly asking, let me know if you need anything from me. They're very good about that because they want to help you help get that run right. They're investing a lot into it. They want it to go right. They want to help in any way they can. And when you say, all right, submit me what you're interested in, I don't want to put in keywords that don't relate to your business, so put them here. City, states, what cities do you serve? Think broadly. Where do your clients come from? What surrounding region? Put in all the cities so I know, what you've got. What is the exact link? Make sure you get it right and paste it in here. I can't know unless you tell me. Okay? If you don't want to do the image file, you don't need to. I did not have to put this into my form, but you could say, take whatever banner you have and put it in here. You could even say, if you don't have one, leave this blank. That way when it submits, that var will be blank and you'll know just from habit, when you could open the CSV file anyway just to make sure everything's right. And you just make sure, and if they don't have it, that just simply means you need to go to their destination link and draw an image or save an image or something so you can use it. The image file is just whatever you're going to put in your related v5 files like mouse.jpg. So all you have to say with this, and you could even include it here in parentheses when you create the form, you could say include extension, right? Include .jpg or GIF or whatever. Finally, keywords. You can say things like keywords minimum 10 or 10 to 100, 10 to 1,000. So when you do your silver, gold, platinum packages, you could base it on keywords that you allow them. 10 to 20, 10 to 100, 10 to 1,000, right? Things like that. You can do things like that and just tell people. This won't control the number of keywords it creates, but you can create different forms to tell people what they're allowed to do. Right? Again, you can make any notes in your little note thing that you send. What does that mean? That means that now that I have this whole MOWG form thing figured out and I gave it whatever name works for me, Acme website development form, mass page generation form, whatever it is that you want to call yourself as a business or whatever service you want to call this thing, whatever it is, that's the form for them to fill in. You could call it whatever name you want. And so what do you do with it? You WinZip it, add emoji form.zip, and it has to be uploaded to your website and you give them a link to download it. You can't just email it. Why not? Because it has a .exe file inside of it, and those things often get blocked by Outlook or whatever. Okay? If you want to make it possible to email after all, then you just have to include the instructions and tell people how to change it back. You have to break it like that. And if you do it, then you zip, yes, the thing will mail fine. Okay? It will mail fine if that's what I zip up and make this thing. But then I have to make sure to include instructions to tell someone how to change this name back to .exe. And remember that a lot of people still don't even see the extensions in the first place, so you may not even go that far. Why? Because if I did something like this, folder and search, how many of you remember back to this and you're like, oh yeah, hide extensions for known file types. They never saw the extension, so they don't know how to change it from .exe1 back to .exe unless you literally tell them in the instructions, click this, click that, deselect that, hit OK, and then they can see it, then they can rename it. Instead of doing that, if you want to make it easier, just upload this thing to your website so guys can download it. That way their Outlook doesn't block it. That way they can extract it, just including the instructions, extract to here, extract to there, whatever it is you want to do. You can just extract to here and it's going to create a MOWG form, extract to wherever. And then just simply open it, open this, fill it out, hit submit, close it, and then just mail this thing to you. And they can mail it to you with whatever image they put in here. If they put an image in here, they can mail it to you. And again, you can open it long enough to make sure they knew what they were doing and that they knew how to put the extension. They may have just put mouse because they don't know anything about how to see the extensions. So you might need to see what image they used and make the .jpg. If you want to make the notes better, tell them if they do not see extensions and don't know what it is, if they need to see the proper name of the image, let me just cancel out of here anyway. Okay, if you want to tell them how to see it properly, just simply tell them to attach their image to an email and look at the name on the email, because it will show the extension then. It will show the full name when it's attached to the email, and that would be the name that they enter here. Okay, and that's if you want to go that far. Again, you have full control over how you want to do this. So then when they're done generating this, they just simply send you this and send you the image. So say you got it in a mail. Okay, say you got it in a mail. What do? Really, I mean, what can you do? You can just, all right, and I got to think through the procedure here. Yeah, I would just take this from my email and I would go to my input, paste it. Okay, right now it's just the way I have it set up because I need this thing to do those operations I need. Okay, and I would just take the image the guy sent me and stick it right in here. Let's say mouse.jpg. I paste it in. And then what do? I run it. That's it. Just run this. Again, what's it do? It will move it to the working area, run this menu generator bit on it for the menu generator, and then immediately start the run. Do you guys smell easy in here? Do you guys smell like 5-minute runs in here that you can charge anything for, and you can decide with your batch files to get more hosting accounts and do a bigger job? So your silver, gold, platinum packages can be, hey, I'll do up to 100 pages on one website for silver. I'll do up to 2,500 pages on 2 websites for gold. I'll do up to 500 pages on 3 websites for platinum. Okay? So it's either 1 times 100, 2 times 250, or 3 times 500, depending on what they pay. Did you create 3 different forms? Yeah. Can you rename them however you want, like silver? Yes, you can do that, and that can be your silver package. Give it any name you want. It doesn't matter. Okay, it'll still say customer input, but that's perfectly fine. Okay, so it will work, and it will update this thing, and they can send it to you, and he never had to open it. For him, he doesn't have pipes set anyway. Even if he opens it, it'll just look bizarre. He doesn't need to know anything about it, and you can make a note about it. Don't worry about this file. Don't open it. Just open your silver. Did I need my sleep and stuff for this? No. Again, what would this really be? It would be the MOWG form I sent the guy with the instructions. I'd say leave this alone. Leave that alone. Simply open this, whatever you call it. Just rename it. And that's what you're going to call it here, and fill out the files, hit submit, and then just email this to me with any image you chose to include in this thing, if you included one. You could even put optional in parentheses here so that they know this is optional. It's up to you. Okay, if you do a cheap DIY style run, do it yourself style run, you could call it DIY run. Okay, then maybe you're only going to charge them $17 for putting up 100 pages on one of your referring websites, and they don't even get to include an image. So you would not include an image field. You would not have created this particular field. Okay, that way you reduce the confusion. Either that or you include it and say you must put an image in here. Otherwise, don't include it. Just use the catch-all. Use the catch-all, click for here image, and so when you create that form for your silver package, you just create the form without the image file. You do the rest of them. Okay. Geo targets, you can do whatever you want with it. But all I mean is we're getting close. Now, are you guys seeing how much easier this is? Literally, the guy can send you the work with the image. You can move the work into the right file or folder, move the image in the right folder, and simply hit a button to go. That's it. Literally, the whole run. And that's even if you're putting the pages up on 5 or 8 websites. And that means if you needed anything here, it auto uploads and everything. So I mean 5-minute runs. Imagine making $17 for 5 minutes of work if that's all you wanted to charge. If you just didn't know, you wanted to call them crapshoot runs where they don't get to put an image in or anything you want. But really, if you had $17 and it took you 5 minutes to do the run, all you have to do is change the project name in the profile. Yeah, that's the other thing. And then put the var sheet here and put their image here, right there, and then just go back here and hit go. And that's it. Literally it. There's nothing else to it. Okay? And you charge like $17 a pop, and that's literally 5 minutes. I mean, from the time you open your email to the time this thing is running is 5 minutes. Okay? Even if you're doing it for yourself for all your own stuff, are you starting to see how easy this is to do your own kinds of runs this way? But if you did charge just a completely modest number for a completely modest production according to your own set points and standards, whatever your profile is set to run, 100 pages for one kind, 1,000 for another. There's your silver, there's your gold, there's your platinum. Give them different names. And that way in your input, you can have copies of this that's called silver, gold, and platinum, where you change the profile it runs in each case, whether it's the silver, the gold, or the platinum on each copy, right? And there you have it. And so the whole run just takes care of itself like that. So if you had, again,